We can talk about arguing.
I don't want to talk about arguing.
Oh, that's a topic you want to evade all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
I do.
Why?
But
Why? It's a real popular topic among couples. How do couples get over arguments? How do they make up? How do we make up after we argue?
okay, sure, we can talk about that.
You want to know why we're going to talk about that? Because we are getting over one right now.
All right, so let's talk about it.
So, hi guys, I'm Sarah and this is Erin, and welcome back to another episode.
I know. Guys, it's Aaron. Just to be clear, so you can hear my voice. Okay, it's Aaron.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
introducing myself.
And welcome back to another episode of The Jar. In today's episode, my husband is busy pushing me off the couch because we haven't yet.
She's not getting close enough.
How close can I be?
She's not getting close enough.
Not trying to back anything up right here, okay? So as you can see by the beginning of this topic, Erin and I, we honestly just try to make an episode on something else, but it did not go very well. It started a little argument, which we've somehow managed to resolve. All thanks to me. I'm joking. Anyways, okay, so thought why not make this one into a podcast topic, because couples always argue. Couples often argue. It's something that you can't avoid. It's in every relationship. And I don't, you know what? When I hear couples say they never argue, I often question that. I often question it.
Absolutely. That's something we agree on. Something we agree on. It was a small argument we just had.
Looking back first at how we used to argue, it's totally different then than now. I feel like we're in a different place now.
Sure.
Because at least I can laugh about it after.
That's so
No,
true.
I'm serious.
Yeah,
Back in the day when we used to have arguments, I would get really upset. I'd get upset and I wouldn't want to talk to you. Like I would just,
she would just shut me out.
I would just shut you out.
Yeah.
I would just shut him out because I just kind of because honestly, we have different communication styles, and at least I would try to do this. I would try to talk, but it wasn't always received well. And that's the most frustrating part when you're trying to talk, right? If it's that, you know what I mean? You're communicating, but it's not getting where it's supposed to. That's frustrating. So then I would do the opposite of that. I would just clam up and not say anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then nothing got resolved.
And how was it for you back then? What did you do? What was your communication style?
I would...
Whoa! The whole couch.
I wasn't like that in small arguments.
What were you? What were you like?
I got over things pretty quickly. I would come back and try to...
You didn't.
Massage the clam.
Aaron, don't give the viewers false ideas. That's a lie.
What was I like?
You're a hothead. Like you have like a hot temper. And when you get upset, if you felt like because when we got in arguments, if I said the wrong thing, like if I got upset and he pushed my buttons and I pushed his just a little bit, he would get so hot-headed that he'd go for a walk. He'd be like, and he'd leave and go for a walk. And yeah, sometimes it was just hard to talk to you. But we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there because that's like a whole other can of worms. And honestly, we don't want to go back to Neverland. Let's keep it right here. So fast forwarding to now, how do we argue?
I think we have a little bit more empathy for each other.
Okay.
Right? And we're trying to be mature parents. And in terms of our kids being around in our living space, we don't want to shout.
Not to say that it never happens.
Not to say...
Like, we don't actually shout, but I would say more like raise our voices. Is that equivalent? I don't know. Is shouting the same thing as raising your voices today? I don't know. But it's something that I feel like we would definitely try to avoid. Volume control. Whenever you're talking, what would you do if I was like, Aaron, turn it down? It's one thing to say these things out now, and I'm sure if you went to a counselor and they gave you like these certain strategies because we've been to counseling and they've gave us some strategies, and it becomes frustrating in the very moment when you're so mad that person is like, turn the volume down. Like,
It's even worse when that person is saying it in a loud voice.
right?
Right? And I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Why are you raising your voice to me?
Okay.
In an elevated voice.
Right? I'm going to confess something right now. In our relationship, obviously, like, you guys can hear it, that I'm more of an outspoken person. My voice is naturally, I would say, outspoken. And sometimes when I'm just talking and my voice is like this, you will say the wrong thing. Like, Sarah,
I often
why are you shouting? And I'm like, I'm not shouting, I'm talking. This is my normal voice. Whereas in Aaron, sometimes even when we're recording we're recording this video and he'll be talking like this, and I'm like, why are you throwing your voice? So I feel like we are just so different at that extreme that we have to have that understanding of each other. You have to be aware that this is my voice. Like, I'm a naturally outspoken type of person, and when I speak, I want to be heard, and I don't have to shout at the top of my lungs, but I'm not a very, like, oh my gosh, I'm making Mile, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk to you like that. That's not me. And I feel like if you're looking for that, you probably should have looked elsewhere.
That's not what I certainly wasn't looking for how you were when you were upset. That wasn't what I was, paying attention to. And everyone gets upset differently, right? As long as it's understandable and I can accommodate, then.
But can you accommodate? That's the real question. These days, in our when we argue, if anything, in our relationship, I am the one that's more patient, and I'm less likely to get upset. You're the one that's quick-tempered. You're quick to get upset about the dumbest stuff. Oh my gosh, that guy just came out of nowhere. You get flustered.
Do I?
You get Don't lie to yourself. Stop it. You get flustered. You be honest with yourself. Are you not like high on the anxiety scale?
Depends on the day.
No, babes.
Sometimes I'm especially cranky when I don't get enough sleep. When I'm tired, I have a little bit of a temper. I don't take it out on people intentionally or anything like that.
You get upset about silly stuff. Like silly stuff.
Don't we all?
No, we don't all, because you have to pay it. You have to. I mean, to me, the small stuff. I get upset about stuff that like actually matter to me. Like if I'm driving, like I don't get upset about stuff like petty stuff like cars or people driving, or just like things that I know that are out of our control. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like personal things, yeah, those things make me upset. Right? Those are the things that I will.
Okay.
Like I do most of the fighting for my family, my husband, my relationship, those kind of things.
So when I get you upset, and then you calm down a bit, what's your tools to help with an argument?
Say what you want to hear sometimes.
Oh. I didn't know that. That's a good point. I didn't know that. Huh. Not bad. It's pretty good.
Let me guess, because you already do that too. I have come. How do
I have a? I don't say what I don't want to hear.
Don't say what I don't want to hear. Okay.
Is that the opposite of what?
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know.
Awkward. Moving on.
I tell you that I love you even though you're upset with me. Or
Aaron, let's give an example of when you're upset. Like this morning, for instance, when we were getting ready to go. And we're going to church, mind you. So I'm trying to go in a peaceful manner. I woke up on time. I got myself together.
She was upset.
And then, do you know why was I upset?
Because I informed her of something important about tomorrow. And she, I guess, didn't have enough time to really absorb that. before
No,
tomorrow.
exactly, because it's something that already took place. And when you told me the first time, I was like, okay. Something came up initially, and he told me the first time, and I questioned it whether it was ongoing or whether it was just going to be the one time. And I figure, like, it's pertaining to you. You know these people. You're the ones who should have the answers to give to me. You should already ask questions, especially if it's something out of your control, something that you don't want to do or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one who always has to ask these questions, like, oh, okay, is it going to be reoccurring? And the answer is like, I don't know. Okay, fast forward.
I hope
Fast
not.
forward. Now you learned it on Friday. Today is Sunday, and today, oh, I forgot to tell you. I don't like that. I hate the whole I forgot to tell you
remembered
business.
Saturday, but I didn't want to interrupt the conversation we were having.
Well, you done forgot. She done told you. Yeah, you didn't tell me on Friday. I spoke to you on Friday. I mean, I wasn't
Friday.
here. And then you missed Saturday, and then you choose to tell me Sunday the day before. That's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Well, you know what? It was...
There's no excuse, sorry. There's no excuse.
All right, I went now.
There really isn't, Aaron. That's the truth.
I was just about to say that it wasn't set in stone about tomorrow. I didn't commit to something tomorrow. But it does help to give her a heads up.
It is kind of set in stone when it was initially created around tomorrow. You're right? Sorry for beating around the bush and not getting into, right?
The details.
The details.
Okay,
But
yeah.
that kind of stuff frustrates me. So I got upset with him. And then instead of helping the situation, he proceeded to make like a mockery of the situation. Or you did. You started, Aaron, you try to be so funny at the most inappropriate times. It wasn't funny.
You're upset.
I was upset. And I got very upset. Got very annoyed. And I just said, please just let me be. So those things, we have those moments. And then we went to church. And then I have to stop. And so I have to walk into church feeling like a complete jerk because of how I felt. Not necessarily because of how I felt towards you or what I said towards you, but my own personal self. Mm-hmm. And then got over it. These days, I've learned to get over things. At least I can try. Some things are harder than others, and you
talk it out.
And then, we communicate. We talk it out. I feel like more and more, I feel like I can actually talk to you. I'm not going to lie. When we first got married and I tried talking to you, it was hard. It was like pulling teeth every single time. Why do you think
I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
Don't tell me you'll buy that. This is exactly how I feel like he probes me.
I'll buy it.
So if you guys are a female out there, you guys explain to me if that's something that you would like. I just want to know, because the whole I'll buy that, I don't understand. Like, we're having a conversation.
I'm talking about how it felt. That's all.
No, but what?
That you're pulling teeth. Like, I can understand. I was
trying to. So why don't you use that word? Why aren't we using the word I will understand? How come we use the word like I'll buy that? Like, okay, like it's like I'll buy that cheap imitation purse over there. That's what it's like. I'll take it, but it's not necessarily what I'm thinking. What I want.
I wasn't thinking that it was like pulling teeth, but
of course you wouldn't, because you were the opposite. You were the one who never. You're the one who never communicated. You didn't like that's the thing. When you come from two separate backgrounds, when it comes to arguments, it makes things difficult. You came from a background where you didn't have to, you didn't practice talking about stuff. You just dealt with it and shoved it under the rug, and you just kind of left off skipped off and did whatever. For me, I came from a background where I at least communicated about stuff. And so when we are trying to communicate, it's always like a clash-a-thon, because you didn't want to talk. Different now, but back then you didn't want to communicate. And I always wanted to communicate.
Always.
And we always butt heads, because I felt like I was forcing us to get to a point to resolve things. One of the worst thing about being in a relationship is to be with someone who you're in a fight with or in a disagreement, and you can't even resolve it. And
Oh yeah.
how else do you resolve it
You gotta
aside from communicating?
Yeah.
Let me guess. Let me guess. Just saying what you want to hear? Or developing coping mechanisms?
I don't. I don't ever go down the road of saying what I think she wants to hear.
Can you imagine? No, I'm just saying, can you imagine if
But-
we spent a whole life doing that? Of just saying what the person wants to hear just because they don't want to talk. So how would that be for me if I can't try to resolve things through communication? I'm just left to shut up,
Sure, that'd be hard for
right?
someone.
And then it would indirectly kind of give you what you want by leaving you be and not talking to you. You don't have to deal with me talking.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to just kind of do you.
Hmm.
That's a very one-sided,
One-sided way.
unfair
Of going about things.
way of communicating
Sure.
or of dealing with an argument, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's not helpful.
So what changed for you as to why you are even able to be at this point where you can actually sit down and talk?
What changed? That's a good question. It was over time, right? Like it didn't happen one day to the next, right?
Okay.
Right.
You got to speak up.
I'm speaking up. I'm communicating. Listen. No, it's just I just wanted to make sure that she felt loved and that one way of her feeling loved is to know that I'm communicating with her about what she cares about.
Is that really it though? Or did you get a taste
Well,
of your
I'm
own?
not-
Did you get a taste of your own medicine?
I didn't.
You got a taste of your own medicine.
Oh, you tried to teach me a lesson, huh?
You got a taste of your own
sometimes
medicine.
She used to shut down and not want to talk about things, and she's like, "This is how you are, so I'll be like that." And that's not helpful either.
Because that's not typically me, but eventually, like I feel like what were my options, right?
I know. I mean, the difference between you and I using that strategy is that you're still upset. Like whereas
Me?
yeah, you'd still be upset, but you wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I just wouldn't be upset. Like,
No,
I would
and
just
you wouldn't
get over it.
You wouldn't be upset if I did it.
No. When I did it, when I didn't talk about it,
Okay.
right? I didn't.
You didn't invest the time to. That's the thing about being married young too. Is like I want to do a session on that, like the pros and cons about being married young. But that was one of the cons about being married young is that, like, we didn't. I don't know if we didn't really obviously have all the tools there to communicate.
No.
And so when things occurred, it was like, okay, fine, like you do that, right?
Yeah, see how well that works out.
We'll see how well that works out, and it was painful sometimes.
It is painful.
Very painful.
Yeah, it's a painful lesson. So, I mean, I love you, and I want you to know that I love you, and in terms of communicating and sorting out disagreements, that's half of it, right?
Yeah, it is because you can't get anywhere without. I don't know. Communication.
But if you're upset with me, we're not going to move forward at all.
So, like you said, it was a gradual process.
It's gradual.
It's gradual.
It is.
I definitely see overall, like, I guess there's one thing that you have to have in I guess your relationship, especially to be able to get past arguments, is just patience. You have to have patience. You have to develop your communication skills because if you don't have them, it's not going to go well. Some people don't communicate; they don't want to, and
yeah, it's true.
That's not going to help because it's going to either lead to resentment, or it's going to lead to like coping mechanisms that you may not like. We may not, right?
Yep.
Each other may not like. What else?
I like that's a big thing: resentment and lack of communication moving forward, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, and it really tests how much you love a person.
15 years, 16. We've been together almost 16 years
Almost
now.
16 years now.
Well,
15-year anniversary's coming up.
yeah, I want a pony.
Stuffed?
Not in joking, people.
Stuffed? I can do that.
What was it? Is that what the girl said from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
I'm not sure.
I want a pony, Daddy.
Yeah, she wants. Oh, yeah, she wanted everything after she wanted two of everything. Oh, she said I wanted another pony. Remember that? I want another pony.
I want another pony.
Yes.
So, anyways, I guess what's the tips that you want to share?
Tips for moving forward in arguments is I guess be a genuine listener and try to learn what really matters to your partner when they want to resolve arguments. Because it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
But you come with an open mind and a willingness to change.
It's a good one.
Right? If you're not willing to change.
Also, having
then
having the, what's it? I feel like you have to want to work on your relationship continually, because that's something that you have, right? It's something that is ongoing. Arguments are not, they are going to happen because you're two different people, two different
absolutely
brains. But at the same time, like if you've got like the core respect and value and main things that you know that are like off limits, that aren't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those things are dealt with, then like work on the simple things. Does that make any sense? I was trying to say like there's some core things in relationships that we know that are like a no-go. So you shouldn't have to really worry about those things. But then do spend the time to work on like the little things to help your relationship. So when arguments are happening, don't just like ignore them. Don't ignore it.
No. And try not to be hurtful.
Try not to be hurtful.
Hey, I mean, right?
Oh, jeez.
That's a piece of advice. That's all.
It's true.
And maybe she'll throw in some bloopers of the argument that just happened.
That just happened. Wait a second. Whose fault was it? Oh, that's a core one. I know. Like, let me say it quickly for Aaron. Don't throw blame, because I know Aaron's gonna say that. Don't blame. That's another one. You know what? That's a big one that always started an argument between us. Like, if someone did something wrong, and I try to point it out to someone, do you get that? You saw that?
Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah. So
that it would be they wouldn't want to accept, you know, the responsibilities.
That's right, guys. It's always good if you can laugh about it after.
Okay. But in reality, don't throw blame. Blaming isn't helpful, but it's also important. With that said, you don't want to overlook how things started either. It's important, right? So I don't know. Like, I don't know how to go about that. Always go about it completely without sometimes people feeling like they are
to blame.
But that's
blaming others.
Yeah, but that's the reality of it. Like, if you want to resolve it, how do you get to the bottom of resolving it if you can't even see how it stemmed to begin with?
I guess it's really important to just focus on your feelings about something and how you got to that point.
But you have to know how it began too.
I am not disagreeing.
Okay, but you didn't say that part.
Oh, okay. Thanks for adding that.
Okay.
Thanks, babe.
And now we're gonna go fight. I'm joking.
Aww. Somebody just woke up because she was laughing.
It's okay.
It's okay. Anyway, guys, hopefully this was helpful in the least to others. Maybe if it's not, if you guys have any other tips or something that you totally disagreed with, comment below and we'll definitely respond with love and understanding.
And then next time when Aaron comes, I think we're going to get him a mic so he can speak up so we can all hear him. He talks like this.
Talk like this.
Yeah, I don't know why you talk like that.
I'm sorry. It's just, I think that people hear me as well as I hear myself. Maybe that's it. I'm soft-spoken because I'm such a great listener.
No, that's not it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this little mini session. Yeah, leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought of this, and share the tips that you guys have for dealing with arguments. How do you deal with them? How do you prevent them before they happen? Preventative measures are also good. How do you deal with them while they are occurring? And
yeah. Maybe how the best way to make up.
The best way to make up.
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I meant the best way to resolve issue. Okay. Forget it.
Trees.
Man, you guys.
There's a sting and I'm not taking it out.
What is wrong with people?
That's what you said.
Anyway,
bye, Aaron.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.